welcome back to the show. Today I'm just gonna try a different format. Thank you for the ratings on Apple Podcast. I just received one, and more friends are finding me on Facebook and Instagram. So thank you for listening. This week I got a very encouraging text from Malong. So Malong is an Indian PhD student, and he listened to my show by finding it on YouTube, which is super encouraging because I didn't know that you can actually do that. He learned Mandarin in China and just through keyword, and he said that he really likes it. And he said that, the content is very interesting. He wrote me in Mandarin, but I know that he's listening to English episodes as well. So I just want to put it out there. Thank you, Malong, for saying that, your voice is so beautiful. I really like your tone and your language, and your verbal ability is super strong. Aw, thank you. So feel free to share with your friends and continue to interact with me on Instagram. You can find me on Chai with Ping. So after this comment, send me more feedbacks. I would really like to hear about how you think or what kind of content that you want to listen to when I'm preparing. And I'll try to find those people and create those content for you. And if you are an international student like our guest today, I welcome you to get in touch with me and share with your experience and story with me. Today we have T from Thailand, and she's gonna share with some background stories and how she's studying here in the US and how she found internships and a job during COVID. I learned so much from her because she's just so proactive and very positive in her attitude. She actually shared 2 stories about how she networked. We hear about networking all the time as international students, but she actually shared how successful she could be just by reaching out to those people. So stay tuned and be proactive in connecting people in your field, especially this is the time that probably a lot of students are finding work for the summer and for the, after graduation. So I just want to wish you good luck and stay safe, stay healthy, and let's keep on listening. Welcome to Chai with Ping. This is Ping Robert. In this podcast, I cover underrepresented and personal stories. Join me with a cup of chai and take a listen. You ready?
Yes.
Cool. Welcome back to Chai with Ping. Today, I'm going to invite you again and again to follow our Instagram and Facebook by Chai with Ping. And I also have the Mandarin channel. So if you like that, the link will be provided for you to listen to both languages. And I cover immigrant stories, life abroad, work abroad, and some minority issues. Today, we have a special guest. Well, everyone's so special, but she is especially special because she is a dual degree student for MBA and a master in business information and analytics. Well, that's a hard name to say. And she's also a musician, elite traveler. I don't even know what you mean, so I'm going to ask her later. And she's a foodie. And so let's welcome T.
Yay! Hi, Ping.
What does elite traveler mean?
So I love traveling. I'm obsessed with that. I have been traveled to over 30 countries, and those including solo traveling and with groups of friends with family. I have a goal of visiting all the 50 states of the United States of America. I have been only 17 so far, and because of the COVID, I didn't get a chance to travel that much, so I missed that.
Wow, 17 already. I don't even know how many I have been. Like 4? So T, because your first time on the show, and so our listeners don't really know that much about you. I know that you're from Thailand, and that's also quite interesting because I'm from Taiwan, and I think a lot of people think Taiwan and Thailand are the same thing. You're from Thailand, and you came here for your graduate studies, and we met in our campus. Could you share a little bit more about your background?
Absolutely. My name is T, and it doesn't actually pronounce like that. That's how I Americanized my name to pronounce easier. So actually, it's called T. I have bachelor degree in information and communication engineering from Chulalongkorn University in Bangkok, Thailand. And Ping has mentioned earlier that I am currently a dual degree student in MBA and Master in Business Information and Analytics. This is difficult to pronounce too. Yes, I am a musician. I play saxophone, clarinet, and bass. But because the United Airlines doesn't allow me to carry more than 2 bags when I move here, so I didn't bring my saxophone with me, and I miss playing music so much.
Oh, that is so cool. Wow, saxophone. So did you join like a music band in the past, or how did you learn all those instruments?
Yes. So I joined a school band when I was 13.
Okay.
That's just very many years ago.
Yeah.
And then I even used my music ability to get into the one of the most prestigious high school in Thailand, by that they are recruiting for a band member. So it's just not only part of me that I love music, but it helps me get into a school, into my dream school as well. So that has been very fun. I have just always learned by my seniors in the team, in the band. And yeah, I never taken like a proper class. It has always been people teaching me in the school band, and that's it. And it has been fun. And eventually, after playing for over 10 years, I just finally acquired the first musical instrument, which is the tenor saxophone, which the funny thing is that after I got it, I never get a chance to play it again because I just moved to the States.
Yeah. Oh, no. So your saxophone is missing you at home.
Yeah, just like she's sleeping there for 2 years already.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. You just mentioned that because of your music talents, you got into a prestigious high school. And is also that like how you learn your English? Like, is that an international school or?
No. So during my undergraduate degree at Chulalongkorn University, I participated in an international program. And then because, so in Thailand, we have a different school system for the Thai program and international program. For Thai program, they have a different school semester start date. And for international program, is pretty much aligned with us over here in Europe and in America. So back then, 10 years ago, I had a chance to become an exchange student to Denmark because it was so lucky that the school term is pretty much aligned with the school in Denmark. And then at that time, I barely speak English, but because I was an exchange student, without that, I would not be able to get my food or do anything. So it's imperative for me to speak English. And that's how I improved my English a lot because of that exchange student 10 years ago.
Got it. So ever since that you went to Denmark, you just kind of had interest and motivation to learn more English instead of like, okay, because I met some other Thai students, they have been in international schools. And I know that in Bangkok, there are so many of them. So got it. But you went for like a more traditional route to college. And yeah, what did you study in college?
I study in information and communication engineering. So that sounds really nerd, but it's like a mix of industrial engineering and computer science. Yeah. So that is why today I am also taking classes in the computer and information technology as well.
Wow. Oh, so you will go into the STEM OPT category later, right?
Yes.
Fancy. All right. So then how did you prepare your TOEFL before you coming here?
So here's the thing. In the States, mostly school will accept TOEFL scores. And because I also would like to get into an MBA program, at first, people have to take the GMAT as well. But there are also an alternative to take an IELTS instead or the GRE instead of the GMAT. So my route, I took IELTS instead of TOEFL. And just for the tips here, it's way easier. taking IELTS to get a 7 score in the first shot than taking a TOEFL to get over 90 of TOEFL score. And also for GRE, I chose to take GRE because although in the math part is way easier, but the English part is very difficult. However, in total, I know that I can perform much better in math part. So I almost got full score in math for the GRE. But if I were to take the GMAT, it would have been a little bit challenging. So I took the combination of IELTS and GRE, and it works. I am here.
I find IELTS is so much harder than TOEFL. I don't know why. I mean, talking to a real person in front of me for IELTS is a little bit nerve-wracking than clicking answers on computer. So I guess you took both, right?
I took both, yes.
Yeah.
And I found a better way to do it, better score. So I just submit the combination that works better for me to get into the MBA program.
Yeah.
Like not many people know that you can actually, like many schools have accepted IELTS more and GRE more to get into the MBA program as an alternative.
Got it. Okay, cool. So then, you've been here for almost 2 years now. Are there any examples that you can share from people that they have a certain kind of perception about Thai people?
That's a very interesting question. So first, whenever people know that I'm from Thailand, if they're not mistaken me that, oh, Taiwan, that's a side joke.
So it's just like interchangeably, right? Like, and when I say Taiwan, they will say Thailand, and then when you should say Thailand, they will say Taiwan. Oh, so confusing.
Yes, totally. They always like, what, Taiwan? And it's like, close, but I'm from Thailand. So they always know that we have amazing food, and they're just like, oh, really? I really love this. I really love Thai food. Like, do you have any recommendation now where I can get the best food in town? And they just like keep saying about the names that I don't know. So my job is just to go there and do some tests to make sure that, okay, this is valid. This is proof. I have like all my list of Thai restaurants that my friends has asked me whether or not this is good. I have to go there and validate all things so that I can say that, okay, according to my time, this is approved. This is it's just like very funny, and people always ask about this.
Wait, so you have actually a list for Denver area? Like,
yes,
the Thai restaurants? Oh, can I get it later?
Absolutely.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, maybe if you're willing, I mean, I'm not pushing, but if you're willing, you can provide it to the listeners, because some of them, they're here. And yeah, we would love to try authentic Thai food.
Yeah, sure. I can send you the list, but this is one thing that I always recommend. Is called Thai Curry on 6 and Kalamat. The chef was like authentic. I love all of their food over there. So good. Miss that.
Nice. So if you have good Thai food, would you go in like and ask for the chef to come out and meet them? Or you just like, all right, they have good food. That's it.
Well, I have done that before. So there was a time, like sometimes the waiters will come and ask for an order, and it's just like, can you make it a Thai spicy? Like, I am Thai. I have to say that, and then sometimes they just come out and check that if you were real Thai, like you're legit. You're not just like some people saying that you're Thai, and you're not. Because they say about Thai hot spicy, it's just like a different range of spiciness.
Oh,
but
totally,
there's also there's also a myth that people thinking that all Thai people can handle a very much spicy of food, which is not true. I am one of that person who cannot take very much spice, but I probably can do it better than other people.
Oh, got it. You can probably do better than American people. who has never tried Thai food. Yeah, actually, I've been to Bangkok once, and it was really spicy. I mean, I eat spicy food in Taiwan, but that street food is so good, but super uber spicy. So I'm like, yeah, you probably have a higher tolerance for chili than me.
Yeah, but it depends as well. Like some kind of food I can correlate more to the spiciness. But hey, talking about food in Taiwan, I have been to Taiwan as well, and I love your food. Like,
Thank you.
like all of the street food is just like so good. I wish I have a chance to go back there and stay for at least a month to try everything that I wanted.
Nice. Don't you think it's not chili enough?
You mean like in Taiwanese
In
food?
Taiwan? Yeah. It's not very chili spicy.
Sometimes I just prefer that kind of spiciness to like, for example, wasabi is also spicy, but I cannot handle those very well because it's just a different kind of spice.
Yeah.
Same as in like Indian spicy.
Yeah.
It's just a different kind of curry that I'm not very used to those two types. But if it were like Chinese spice or Thai spice, then I can deal with that. I don't know why, but it's just different spiciness.
Interesting. So then we talked about food already, and I don't know how well you adjusted to the food culture over here, but what do you find hard to adjust to culturally being a Thai in Colorado in the US?
So first of all, the food portion, it is humongous over here. First time that
Oh yes. Yes.
First time that I went to the Cheesecake Factory, I was like, oh wow, is this normal American portion? I just like only their starter. I'm full already. The main course is not even arrived and the dessert is not even there. I don't know how to deal with that. Every single time that I went to American restaurant, I always have to ask for a to-go box, which is way too much. And another thing related to food is probably about the tipping system that I'm not very used to that as well as I read a little bit about the tipping system and it has something to do like back in the history. I'm not very sure about that on how the waiter and waitress didn't have very high wages. And that's why they have to rely very much on tip, which on one hand, it means that, okay, they will improve their service better because they are expecting for the tips. But on the other hand, it just make you like depends on something else that you cannot really control. And it could have been like a better system. So those are two main things about the food culture that I noticed.
Got it. I think, yeah, the tipping system, many international students are finding it hard to adjust to. Well, I work a few days, so it's very short time in a restaurant, and my brother has been working in a restaurant for a long time now, and I do think it's a very fundamental cultural difference, and also about labor. I think whatever. So that's what I joke about that in Taiwan is like I told my friends is like, whatever has been touched by human hands, it will be more expensive. But if it's a machine made or fast food takeout, that kind of thing, no one served you, so that will be cheap. I will say it's good for the servers, but bad for customers.
Yes, but like for now, since the COVID situation, there's no more dining. And right now, even that I order for the takeout food, I always included a tip because that's probably only the way to help support them, because they would not be able to provide their service. But on that also make everything more expensive. But I think we just have to help each other in this situation.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely. I do the same thing too, because like I just cannot imagine how much business the restaurants or the servers are losing. And some of the servers could be providing for their own family. And I just don't know how they can survive without their regular tips. So you brought up a very good point. Since we talked about COVID, I find it very hard to make friends because everyone's isolated. I've been working from home, and this week it turned to 1 year already working from home and studying from home. So let's talk about outside of COVID, before COVID, how do you make friends?
Yes, so it has been very challenging for me as well to find new friends. So I have participated in many programs. For example, at the International Student House, that's where I met you for the first time. We just went there to get free lunch provided by the university, which is the best way to meet all your international colleagues and making friends. I have also joined a Meetup app which is an application showing where events occurring around town. So there was a chance that I found an event asking for people to go, what does it called?
The
Read,
people will
walk.
share interest.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Or
It's
just like an
somehow
event.
saying, yes, it's like more like an event saying about, there will be an event on this date and time, and anybody who is interested can just join. So I got a chance to went on a random hike with people that I never knew before, or went to a Friday art street walk on Santa Fe. When they're pre-COVID, they always have this Friday art street walk. And I even found a group of Denver amateur music group where I just joined them, and everybody just come and play their music together, which is very perfect for me because I don't own any instrument here, and I get to play with them because I miss my music so much. So I think the key is just like, don't mind going to things alone and try, but make sure that it's safe, because I am also a woman. And that's very important, that you have to have your own judgment whether or not this event is safe. And always tell your friends or your family that, okay, you're going here and I expect to come back by this time. Otherwise, call the police or something like that. But those are the things that you have to always be mindful.
I think you brought up a good point that you met friends through common interest and going into events. And Meetup, actually, you're the second guest to mention Meetup. It seems like a very popular choice. It's like in the other episode, Agi from Indonesia also talk about. So if the listeners are interested, you can go back and check out episode 21, and it's titled "How Do We Find Comfort in the U.S. as Asian Immigrants" with Agi. Cool. You have to be very adventurous to go out on a hike with strangers, though.
Because that event does have a lot of people, and I already saw like people already sign up. So I wouldn't mind to just like go check out, because they say that, okay, let's meet at this Broadway station. I went there and I see there are a group of people. So it sounds very trustworthy. And I just joined them. And one other thing is like, don't be afraid to making friends, because I like to share one of the situation that I just making a new friend from a ski trip. I am very crazy in skiing, and that was a time that I wanted to go ski, but because I don't drive, and this is one of the American things that like, if you don't have a car, you don't have legs, you cannot go anywhere at all, especially in the winter time when it snows. So don't have to think about going to a ski resort, which is only 2 hours away by car. I have looked that up, and a chance to go by public transportation. It's going to take me about 4.5 hours one way from my home to Breckenridge Ski Resort. Yeah. And wow, that's not going to be fun. So I keep asking friends, almost everyone in that I know in my class, like, hey, do you plan to go ski this weekend? No. Okay, do you plan to go ski this weekend? I keep asking so many people, and that I know that they have ski pass. No one is planning to go on this weekend for some reason, or either their car is already full. So I start expand my network and asking some random people. I asked this guy who I knew in the class, and then he said that I don't ski, but I know that guy, Nick, he's ski. So it's like, okay, I never talked to him before. I'm gonna go talk to him right now. It's already 8:30 p.m. on Thursday night, and I wanted to go ski this Saturday. I just go to him and like, hey, Nick, I heard that you ski. Would you like to have a friend joining your car to ski this weekend?
Wow.
He is the 16th person that I asked that night.
Yeah.
And then he said that, let me think about it. Fast forward 12 hours later, he just texts me and, hey, T, are you still interested in go skiing this weekend? I'm like, yes. So we went on a ski trip together. We were stuck in the car for 5 hours, and we have become a good friend just because be just stuck in the car and we go ski together.
Wow. That is amazing. Wait, so just a side question. I tried to learn snowboarding, but I realized it's really hard for me to learn on my own. And then hiring or joining a class is also very expensive. How did you learn skiing?
So for skiing is easier to, I mean, I took a class as well. I only took half-day class, and then it's very easy to pick up. If you like to really go, I would recommend some other like cheap resort, which I mean is more expensive than just like buying a ticket, but it's cheaper class to take. And I'm sure that only 1 or 2 classes you should be able to go to the bunny slopes. And other than that, I always practice by myself. Talking about snowboard is way more difficult. I have tried that and have not been successful so far. So if you don't mind that it has to be snowboard, ski is way easier to start, but more difficult to master. On the other hand, snowboard is more difficult to start, but easier to master later. That's what people told me. I'm not mastering any, but that's the tip.
Yeah, I heard the same. Do you own your own? How do you say that question? Do you own your own ski? That's so weird. Do you have your own ski or do you have to rent each time?
No, I borrow from a friend. I haven't purchased that yet, but it's not. It would be good if you really like it and then you purchase. But if you're not certain, then you can borrow from a friend or you can rent it for the whole season.
Yeah, and then so you usually have the season pass as well.
This is my second year having the season pass because last year I only went 4 times, and because of the COVID, I didn't get to go anymore. Also, it's just difficult to go by myself. There was only, I mean, DU also have ski bus, but it's not very frequent. I took that as well, just like going by myself. It's only $15, so like the best deal. But this year I have been skiing much more because like my friend have taken me there.
Yeah. Cool. Got it. It's hard. I think COVID changes everything. And especially we both are taking classes online. What is your experience so far?
Yes, it has been really challenging. The first quarter was spring 2020, which is about 1 year already. I was like, okay, I can do this. I woke up at 11 a.m. My first class was at noon, which is good. I don't have to walk to school. And then I have 3 classes back to back. It was super tiring. 6 straight hours with Zoom camera was super exhausting. In the week 3, I start to opt out for the video camera because it was too much. I don't want to feel like you are looking at my face and I cannot do anything, which is very interesting because if we were in the class in person, I don't care what I'm doing or people gonna looking at me. But like when you're on the video camera, it's just like, oh no, don't look at me. But luckily that schedule was only last 5 weeks. For the next 5 weeks, my class starts at 6 p.m. And that when things start to become crazy. I start waking up at noon or 2 p.m. and then have my first meal in the afternoon, doing laundry, yoga, and then study a little bit, and then taking first class at 6 p.m. Also, my sleep schedule has changed too. It starts to get late from midnight to 2 a.m. to 2 a.m., 4 a.m. And then there was a time that I went to bed at 6 a.m. because I just could not fall asleep. And the funny thing is, after my final, I will be starting an internship, and that I have to wake up and have to work from 9 to 5 like normal people. So I feel like, oh, I'm having a jet lag, even I barely leave my apartment.
That's so interesting. Yeah, I think definitely. Yeah, you brought up a very good point about the camera thing. I think a lot of people are starting to turn off their camera. I probably don't understand enough because my work doesn't require a camera, and then my class time is only at 2 hours each, and then we'll have our work time in our small groups and all that. And then that's very interesting. So then you started having an internship. Can we talk about that? So you took in CPT, right?
Yes. So for an internship, a student under an F1 visa can do an internship, and I would say there are like two major things. So if you're doing an internship over the summer quarter, then it means that then you can work full time, which means over 20 hours per week, up to 40. And then you have to request for the CPT, which comes from curricular practical training, if I'm not wrong. And
you are correct.
Thank you very much, the advisor. You're so pro. Then only once a year that you can apply for the full-time CPT, because that's considered like a break quarter, an academic break quarter for your academic year, which is for me is in the summer quarter. But if you like to work on the other quarter, like in fall, winter, or spring quarter, which is an ongoing study season, then you can only work up to 20 hours under the part-time CPT. And for that one, the process is the same. You have to get a letter of an offer letter from your supervisor, and then you have to get an CPT, fill in an CPT form from academic advisor, and then submit everything to the international house to process the CPT document.
Yeah, cool. I am hoping to have someone to talk about CPT and OPT as a professional person. But I thought I didn't know that you can only take one quarter of full-time CPT out of the whole year. I thought like as long as you're doing CPT, applying for the right way, and then you can have full-time jobs.
Because the purpose of us is to come here to study. Yeah. And then if we keep working on the full-time CPT, then it means that they have a rule that you cannot work on the full-time CPT more than 12 months. Otherwise, you will not be eligible for an full-time, like for an OPT later when you graduate post-completion. So if you meant to work, use the full-time CPT, the reason that they have to only apply in the summer quarter because it's the quarter that the school is having a break for you. And if you're taking it over the fall quarter, which you should have been studying, that just like defeats the purpose of coming here to study. And that's what I understand about the full-time CPT. I mean, it means that you have to first request for like dropping your quarter because you're not going to be taking this quarter, and then you're not going to be taking class this quarter, and then you're going to be working instead. And then it means that you will delay your study. And there was some rule and regulations about that, which that should be better if we talk with a professional.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it will be in my plan. So, wow, how do you balance your studies and work? Because then so let's take it as a part-time, right? So 20 hours is still quite a lot of time. And do you find your program easier then? So then you can do CPT? Because I find it really hard to work and study at the same time.
This is a very good question. So in my very first quarters that I studied in the States, I didn't take any part-time job because I know that there's a lot of cultural adjustment. I just flew here. English is not my main language. There are just so many things that I have to focus on. So I only focus on study and not about the part-time job until this is my third year already in the master degree. And then things has become better. And I only have very few classes that I have to complete this quarter. That is why I decided to find a part-time job, because you have to always be sure that your main purpose is here to study and make sure that work will not make an inverse impact, negative impact on that.
Was it easy for you to find a job? Especially during COVID, right?
That is another very good question. So how do I find job? So my first internship I found was from Denver Startup Week. I went to this seminar and then I saw a lady who was talking about her company. And then after her speech, I just walked up and give her my very first name card that just delivered to me last night, because I know that I'm going to be going to more of these events. I like to have my name card ready. I just hand her the name card and said, hey, your company is very interesting. Are you looking for an internship? Actually, the words is not very like that. I just like, are you looking for an internship? And I would be really love to have a coffee with you and something like that. So later, after that, 2 weeks after that, I met her for a coffee, and then boom, I got an offer like, okay, you can reach out to us again when it comes to the summertime. We would love to have you as an intern. And I was the first person in my program who lands a job.
That is so cool. I heard about that. Career centers, they talk about networking and all that, but you are the living example that you actually walk up to someone and had coffee with them. And then it ended up like, getting an internship over the summer. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you very much. I mean, that's also the same with my current internship. This current one that I am working part-time during my school year, I just found this connection from one of the projects that I did during my MBA coursework. And because he was my project sponsor, and he's Filipino, and we are both from the Southeast Asian region country. So we had something in common. Even though that project has finished for about a year already, one day I just like, okay, I think I am looking for a new part-time job, and I just browsed my LinkedIn, and then I found him on LinkedIn, and I just text him that, hey, I would like to seek for some career advice from you, and would you mind for some social distancing style of coffee chat or something like that? And he said yes. So we hopped on the Zoom call. We didn't eventually meet in person. And then he said that, hey, he's founding a startup company and looking for a data science intern. And I got a job.
Wow, that's so cool. Well, then you're really backing up the theory of networking. It'll help so much for international students to find jobs here. Wow. That is so cool. And thank you so much for sharing all that. Like, your personal experience is so crucial and valuable. And I hope that our listeners are encouraged if they are international students, or even though if they are not, then at least just to know a little bit about how international students navigate in the systems. Cool. Before we end, is there any last thoughts that you want to include?
Yes, sure. So I would like to touch on a little bit about working experience in this virtual environment. There's one internship that I had in the last summer as a solution owner in a technology consulting company. And my role was like a project manager, where I had to oversaw other 11 interns. And that gets really interesting because you have to manage the project and work with a lot of people that you never knew before. And I cannot just walk to that table and say, hey, can we get a cup of coffee or lunch together to build a rapport? I wasn't confident in myself that I can manage the project virtually without building an in-person relationship. But it wasn't like that. I was so fortunate that I have such an amazing group of people that I work with. And we finally able to deliver the outcome as per the internship goals. So the things that I would like to share is that be persistent and believe in yourself that you can do it. Everybody is in this together. We are just so fortunate that we still have a roof over my head, food on my table, and internet access to complete the degree. And we just always have to be positive, not test positive, okay? Be positive that we can go through this, and believe in yourself that you can do it.
Thank you for the pun. I was like, what? What positive?
Be positive, but not test positive.
That's right. Good job, Dee. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing and encouraging us. To next year I'll be looking for a job, so I will remember that to be positive about work and options and networking and all that. That is so cool. So if listeners would like to get in touch with you or ask you questions, can they find you?
Yeah, sure. You can reach out to my LinkedIn, which is my LinkedIn address is ttkarnk. THITIKARNK. And that's only one person who has that link. So
okay.
feel free
I'll put
to
that
connect with me.
Yeah, I will put
and
her LinkedIn in the episode notes.
Yeah, and just be confident in yourself. I mean, I am also still looking for a full-time position because like last year, I also thought that, okay, COVID gonna be gone by next year that I'm graduate, but that is still here. 2021 is not much better than 2020.
Yeah.
And I'm still in search of the full-time position and I'm still keep working on that, but keep trying on everywhere that possible. I also applying in a traditional way. I also use all of my connections and believe that is gonna happen.
Yeah, cool. So good luck on your job hunting. And before that, you need to graduate first. So good luck on your studies. Thank you so much for coming to my show, T.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yay.
Thanks for listening to Try with Ping. If you think someone will benefit from this episode, don't forget to share with them. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. If you like my show, you can buy me a chai with small gifts. Details are in the episode notes. Till next time!